Good day and welcome to another exciting episode of the Untamed world of unified endpoint management. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Windows 10 modern management of group policy objects, GPOs, with a UEM solution. And in this scenario, you will not need any legacy management tools like SCCM to deploy your GPOs. So it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, basically. All the tools are publicly available. There are some scripts that you can find online. I will talk about that later. But as I mentioned before, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use Citrix Endpoint Management to show this in a demo later on. So the first step is really easy. Export your GPO from Active Directory Group Policy Management Console. And there is an option you can do. You can select backup to a file, and that we'll use in a script that will convert it, so we can use it with the UEM solution. So in this case, make sure that you have access to Active Directory. You have the appropriate rights to back up the GPOs, etc. You don't need to use your production Active Directory for that. You can use a dummy standalone domain controller to create your GPOs, to create your baselines that you want, etc., etc. But I will always emphasize that you reevaluate your use cases and functional requirements when you start the modern management journey of Windows 10 with the UEM solution. There are like 4,300 plus GPO options, maybe even more. But do you really need all these settings there? So you have the option here to reevaluate this and look into all the functional requirements. Another thing that I would like to mention is take a look at the Windows Configuration Service Provider reference documents, where you can see which options are already available through the MDM channel for UEMs, and check your UEM if the option is already available in the GUI, or if you have the option to create and deploy custom XML files. So that would be the preferred way to deploy configurations to a Windows 10 machine endpoint with the UEM solution. And additionally, we know that most of the UEMs can deploy all types of applications, exe files, UWP apps, MSI, MSIX, etc., etc. So evaluate your application landscape also. If your application that you have doesn't come in a form so you can deploy with UEM, invest some time and money into it to do that. It will save you on the long run, and this is a good option to start at, also with the group policy objects. So step 2 is basically run the GPO with the MSI PowerShell script. If you search on Google for a GPO to MSI, you find several options. I found one on GitHub that I used and tested. I tested several other ones also. They all work fine, but this one from Thomas Kerr is working great. You can find it at the link that I put in here on GitHub. So download the export GPO directory there with all the components it contains. I did some additional adjustments on the PowerShell script because I wanted to create a process on how you can easily identify which GPO is created in your Active Directory, exported, and then used in your UEM solution. I will come to that later. So you need a Windows 10 endpoint where you can run the PowerShell scripts on. You need to run it in elevated rights. So that's one you need. And of course you need a UEM solution to deploy the eventual MSI. So in our case, as I said, or in this case, as I said, I'm going to use Citrix Endpoint Management, which can deploy APPX, APX bundle, exe files, MSIs, or PowerShell scripts. So in this screenshot you see here, I uploaded the created MSI. I gave it the appropriate app version, which I can find in Orca. The product code, which I also can find in Orca. The installation context in this case is device for this MSI, and the command line option is /quiet, so it will silently install. So basically, these are the 3 easy steps you need to do to deploy GPOs with a UEM solution. So let me switch to my environment, and then it's demo time. Hold on. So here I am. As I switch to my secondary domain controller, I have my group policy management MMC opened, console opened, and you can see the default structure here. In the group policy objects, you can create the baselines that you want. So what I did here, I created 2 baselines. I use a specific naming convention here that I will also use in the naming of the MSI, and I will also use in Citrix Endpoint management for delivery groups and delivering the MSI application. So I have one, basically the UEM baseline, where I put in all the stuff that everybody should get. Basically, I put in some stuff like, and we're going to check it later, renaming the administrator and the guest account. I did some interactive logon, so the user gets a logon screen, a notification. I did some group policy settings here for background processing. Prevent the usage of OneDrive for file storage. Turned off the Windows Mail application. Prevent the user from changing the desktop background, and prevent changing the theme. Configure the desktop wallpaper, etc., etc. Turns off toast. Now, a lot of things. On the second one, I disabled the system tools, so show all the settings here. You can see here that I prevent access to registry editing tools, and I restrict access to the group policy editor. So I don't want the user to use the registry or the GPO editor on his local machine to disable or change any group policy objects. So I changed the UEM baseline a little bit. So I changed the desktop wallpaper. Why did I do that? Because I have that option available natively through custom XML on Citrix Endpoint Management, and I also have the conflict policy pushed to the demo device, so that policies set by GPO and policies by MDM are not conflicted. The MDM one is the one that rules them all. So if a policy is set by UEM, that policy will be the one that's going to be set. So if you want to add some additional things, it's easy, right? You probably know it. Just go into the configurations which you want to change. The administrative templates, I will select all, and I will do enable also. These are the settings I did. So if you want to set any different things there, do it. So on the export, so what I did is I exported to a machine that I can access globally. So I have there a GPO backup directory, and I create directories there with the same naming convention that I use in the GPO editor. So let's export, for example, the UEM baseline. I will clean this one out. So you can see here previous backup. I will delete it. I want to use this naming convention, and I want to do a backup. Because I already did it before, the name is still there. So I want to give this description backup, and you'll see it will backup. Backup is succeeded, so you will see that a new one is put in here. So now we're gonna switch to my local machine where I have the capability to execute the PowerShell script. So on that note, I will show you where you can download the PowerShell script. You see it here, GPO to MSI on this GitHub address. Download this folder and everything that it contains, and put it into a directory on your machine. Let me select the GPO backup. So if you have done that, I put it in a folder Modern Management. You see the exported GPO here. If there isn't any GPO backup folder created, and this will be the place where you put the exported file. So we're going to delete this one, permanently delete. And if a file is exported, it will be in the results page. So we're gonna run the baseline one. So I'm going to delete that to show you that it's there. I have another directory that's called executed from all the things that already have been executed. Basically, I will copy and paste the stuff that I exported into here. So let me go to the one that I have exported. I will copy it and I will paste it in this directory here, the executed one. Let me delete it, so I'll paste it here as a reference, as a backup, but I also will need to put it in the GPO backup one, because this is the one that we're gonna execute. So that's done. Then we have the PowerShell script, and there are some other configurations that I changed. So if you look at the exported GPO, you see the Wix config, and you see for each platform there is an option. So the main one that's been used is the main x64 one, and I have that here. And here are some things that I changed. So because I wanted to get some references and some attachments between the MSI and the exported GPO and the group policies and the apps deployed in SCCM, I changed this to the same name as the as group policy name that I set in Active Directory. I changed the manufacturer, and that's basically it, because I can see later on in the configuration of SCCM, but also on the Windows 10 endpoint, which policy this is. That makes it easier. The thing is, if you change this, you also need to change it in the PowerShell script. So in the PowerShell script, in the PowerShell script. So in the PowerShell script, here's the PowerShell script. Normally this line is gone, it's not there, so I put it in. I put it in the $file name variable, and in the end there is an option in the execution part. You see, let me see where it is, here. Normally it says output, so I put in the parameter here and then the parameter there, so that makes it very easy for me to run, to change the name, and it will generate an MSI file with this name. So that's done, right? We have the backup files in the correct directory, right? In the GPO backup directory. We changed the name in the config file, right, of Wix, and we have changed the name in the parameter on the PowerShell script. So make sure that you run this PowerShell in elevated rights as an administrator. So let's run this. So you will see it's creating the PowerShell script. It uses Lite and several other components. And you'll see here successfully compiled files. So if we go back to the directory, you'll see there's some new files generated here. And if we go back to the result, you will see that there is an MSI. So now we're gonna deploy that MSI step 3 with Citrix Endpoint Management. So let's switch to Citrix Endpoint Management. We have it here. Let me guide you through the configuration quickly. For this demo, I have created 2 separate delivery groups. A delivery group Windows 10 TST and security group Windows 10 TST, and the test user is part of these groups. What I also did on the app side to make it more easier to find if you deploy multiple GPOs, I created a category that's called GPO MSI. And if I now use the filter option here, I can go by category, show, and GPO, and it will show you 2 GPOs. And additionally, I saved this view here, so it's an easy click. So you see that I have the disabled system tools already here, and I have the UEM baseline here. So let's edit this one. I'm not going to change it, but I'm going to walk you through it, because you just need to upload the MSI file here, give it a name, make sure the app version is correct, and open it in Orca and look at the properties so that you have the product code correctly in there. The product code is here different because I regenerated the MSI, but you will see here that the product name is also changed to the naming convention that I used in the Wix file here, right? So that's easy because now the MSI will get recognized also with this product name, so it's easier for you to find on the Windows 10 endpoint later on. So you put in the product code, you make sure the installation context is device, the command line is quiet, and then with the assignments, don't assign them here. This is here because I did it through the delivery groups, and we need to do it through the delivery groups because we want these MSIs to be mandatory installed. So we go to the delivery groups, we go to the security group because, in my opinion, this is a security setting, so everything related to security is attached to the security group. You see also the policies here. You see that I have the control policy, conflict, and the Windows 10 agents for Citrix Endpoint Management deployed there. On the app side, you see that I have both the MSIs attached to the required app sections. So when you choose optional, it will not install by itself. So yeah. When you have done that, it's time to run a test on a test machine. So let's switch to that test machine. So here we are at the Windows 10 demo machine, and you will see it's we go to settings, we will enroll it here, but just to reference, we do a GP edit, for example. Now you see that that will start without any problems here. Right, let's see, we do a reg edit. That's another one that we restricted. And you will see it will run on, so you see the settings are not changed, there are no applications installed. Right, let me sign out for a second. And you will see there is no notification when I log in. Right, it's all out of the box, default, nothing special. Just to go back to one of the other options, you will see later on this demo, is that I also installed two applications that are, well, three applications that are basically exe files. So Notepad, 7-zip, and tree size. So let's have a quick look at that. So go back to apps and you get a short impression on how you deploy exe files. So here it is. Let's edit it for a second. And you'll see the exe file is uploaded. You need to do a silent install command and an uninstall, and that's basically it. Attach it to the delivery group as required app, and it will install. So switching back to the demo machine, we would be able to enroll that one with our test user. So go to settings, account, access for school and work, enroll into device management. So auto discovery is not configured for this moment, so we need to type in the server address. .com:8443/ZEM/WPE, and it will give me the sign-in page. I will sign in with my password. I will get a notification for the terms and conditions. Here it is, the terms and conditions. I will accept it, and the logo and the machine should be enrolled. That's enrollment done. We go to info, and we'll do a manual sync, and we will wait for a few minutes to get all the settings pushed down. So if we go back to the Citrix Endpoint Management Console and look into the was in active days, we see a new machine here, and if we go to more and the properties, you will see that the policy is already deployed. That's good. And the applications would be next. So there's 5 pending applications, and these are the application that deploys the exe files and the MSI GPOs. And you can see here that it identifies the name now. Later on here you see the identifier, and it will we'll see that also on the Windows 10 endpoint. So let's wait for that for a second, and then we will come back. So we gave this this demo machine a few minutes to get the policies and the applications and the MSIs. So if we go back to the info, you will see that the policies are set, and you see also that the Windows 10 Citrix Endpoint Management, the Windows 10 agent is deployed, and you see here both the MSIs, and this is the reason why I did the change in the script for the naming. So I see here the naming of the MSI, so I can correlate them to the appropriate Active Directory GPO that I exported. But also, if you go back to the application settings, you can see that if I filter them by install date, and you see here one already, and also here the MSI, right, has this name, so the correlation is there. It's much easier as an administrator for you to do that, so I like to do it nice and clean. You also see that the exe files here are installed, the notepad, the 3 size, and the other one was 7-zip or something, I believe. Yeah, 7-zip. So it looks like all the settings are deployed. Oh, you see the applications here installed. These are the exe files, so that's good. So because we did some log on screen notifications, we need to log off to see that. So we're going to sign out. And you see directly that the background, the lock screen background is changed. And there is the notification. So that's the text that I put in the GPO, as you could have seen before. So I log in. And you see here also the background is changed. So that's cool. So we restricted the registry editor. Let's see if that's working. And we get a nice notification, registry editor has been disabled by administrator. And we also did that with the GPO editor. Let's see what comes up when we open that one. And you see that's also there. So in case of troubleshooting, you want to do some, you want to see which policies are executed on this machine. So I will open the MMC, and you will see that I didn't restrict the GP result option there. So it should be here somewhere. Here, the result set of the policies. I will do logging this computer, this user. And you will see that prevent change of desktop background has been set. So let's see if that's true. And you get a nice confirmation here. I'm not allowed to change it, so that's good. Prevent access to editing tools, we already checked that. That's working. Cloud content. No third-party notifications in Spotlight. We saw that there are no commercial stuff on the lock screen. Management console, right? We restricted those also in the group policy. Here you go. The store, only display private store. So if I open a Microsoft Store, it will ask me to log in with my user 10 tst at quicksoft.nl. That's the first time this user logs on, so it will ask me to do some additional. I don't want this, only for this app. And you will see I only have the Microsoft for Business Store here available. So the user cannot install things themselves, only the apps that I curated to be available in the store. So that's good. No apps there. Didn't do any configuration. That we have set in here. Yeah, you can check it, but it's all good. So you see that in a very easy way, you can modern manage Windows 10 endpoints with a UEM solution. In this case, Citrix Endpoint Management, without the need of any legacy or slow management tools like SCCM, which are not designed to do this modern management. Easy as 1, 2, 3, as I said before. So thank you for watching, and let me know what you think about this demo. Thank you very much.